Welcome to Olympian Water Testing, giving you the best in water analysis. Today we're looking at ATS-DR, Agency for Toxic Substances and Disease Registry at Orange County, New York, near Stewart Air National Guard Base. What are they doing? In 2020, the Center for Disease Control, the Agency for Toxic Substances, ATS-DR, conducted an exposure EA in Orange County near the Stewart Air National Guard Base. And they sent individual tests to participants to the community in May for PFAs and those substances. So why did they select the Orange County EA site? When selecting the EA sites, the ATS-DR considered the extent of these chemicals, the PFOA and PFOS contamination in drinking water supplies, and the duration over which exposure may have occurred, and the number of potentially affected residents. Orange County was one of several sites nationwide identified with PFAS drinking water contamination from the use of products such as Aqueous film, foaming, AFFFF. The base previously used AFFFF containing PFAS for firefighter training. It's not known when the base first started to use the foam, but is believed to have started as early as 1980s. Now, over time, the PFAs from the AFFF entered the ground and moved into the groundwater to off-site locations and affected the city of Newburgh's surface water source. Washington Lake, to reduce the level of PFAS in the drinking water of the city of Newburgh, authorities stopped using Washington Lake as its water source in May 2016. And New York City's Catskill Aqueduct has served as a primary water supply since that time. Based on the information the ATS-DR has reviewed, the city of Newburgh drinking water supply currently meets or is below the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency's 2016 Health Advisory and the state public health standards for PFAS in drinking water. So you can see the sampling area right here, the city of Newburgh, and we can actually see what was going on. The PFA exposure assessments, the information session, the recruitment, the field sample work, what they found, the individual tests, and the EA site and the community meeting. So how was it conducted? Well, they invited randomly selected households to participate in the EA. To be eligible to participate, household residents must A, lived within the sampling frame, receive their drinking water from the city of Newburgh, public drinking water, for at least 1 year. May 2, 2016, these residents have the greatest likelihood of past exposures to PFAS via the city's drinking water supply, and been greater than 3 years old at the time of sample collection and not been anemic or have a bleeding disorder that would prevent giving a blood sample. And households with private wells were not eligible for participation. Measuring PFAS in the blood of people for randomly selected households allowed them to estimate the exposure for consumption of public drinking water for the entire community in the affected area, even those who were not tested. So what did they find? 59 people, 58 adults, 1 child from 48 households. Everyone completed a questionnaire. A lot of people provided blood and urine samples, and they collected samples of tap water from dust and some homes. So what were the key takeaways? Average adult adjusted levels of PAFHXS in the blood of Orange County EA site participants were 3 times the national levels. Elevated blood levels may be linked with past drinking water contamination. Some demographic and lifestyle characteristics were linked with high PFAS blood levels, and all water samples were collected in EA in 2021. So what did they learn? Several PFAs in Orange County EA site were detected in more than 84% of the blood, including PFHXS, PFOS, PFOA, PFNA, PFDA, and PFUNA. And since 1999, the National Health and Nutrition Survey, NHANES, has measured PFA levels in the blood of the U.S. population. They're shown to be age-dependent as well. We can see the data right here. They also use statistical models to study relationships between various demographics and lifestyle characteristics. So there's a lot of good information here, and this is quite scary, the way it affected people in the city of Newburgh. But that could be your city as well. So it's always a good idea to periodically test your water for forever chemicals.